On the news, the 10th House of Representatives targets 13 major areas that require urgent legislative attention.
We can never overemphasize the fact that citizens' engagement is the fulcrum of a representative democracy.
Jigawa State House of Assembly set to ensure adherence to proper legislative practice at both state and local government levels. Plus, State Assembly in the Southwest agreed to work in harmony for realization of best representations.
It's for us to keep this relationship going and have our open communication, our line of communication to be open and for us to foster this unity.
A very warm welcome to NTA Parliament News. I am Vivian Idekbefo. Many thanks for joining us. The recent flood disaster on the Ibadan-Ife road, the second busiest road linking southwest to northern parts of Nigeria, which led to huge economic losses, has elicited an appeal from the Senate towards provision of immediate relief to the victims. The motion was raised by the Deputy Minority Leader, Olalere Kamorudin. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
The two-day heavy downpour, which flooded some communities along the Ibadan-Ife road, also resulted to a devastating erosion that has never been experienced in the axis.
The heavy flood in these towns has destroyed property worth several millions of naira. Many households have been displaced, and motorists along the road were stranded for a whole day.
Urge the Ecology Office and all FEMA to equally assist in the channelization of other affected areas in Ikire, Ikoyi, Apamo, and Bogan communities.
Senate urged the Federal Ministry of Works to direct the contractor handling the road construction to effect repairs that will prevent further damage. Senate also passed a resolution urging the federal government to halt the proposed increase in electricity tariff by distribution companies. This followed a motion from Senator Abiodun Akintunde and two others.
It is essential to address the issue of inadequate power supply, metering, and quality of service provided by the DISCOs. Customers should not bear the brunt of inefficiency in the power sector.
Somebody will buy transformer, the community will pay money for installation. You will be hiking tariff. So what is your work? Is to collect the money. Monkey the work, babu the chop.
My additional prayer is taken from the speech of Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that says, "Let the poor breathe."
It's such a very serious issue because this goes to the root cause of production. Not just production, it also goes to the root cause of employment. If we have to have employment opportunities, then our industries must function. And then the industries cannot function without electricity. And even the poor households who are made to pay exorbitant bills as a result of estimated billing, I think this must also be brought to an end.
The alleged vandalism of offices at the Senate, raised by Senator Adeola Olamilekon, as a matter of privilege in relation to an interview granted by Senator Adams Oshomole, was also clarified.
That was certainly not the intention, and that was certainly not what I said. But for those who feel that that's my comment, which was meant to protect our collective image, was offensive, of course I apologize.
Every center is given an opportunity to form a letter written to each and every one of us. This is a tradition. A tradition every 4 years that's always done. Then you are given the right to either accept or reject the offer to purchase those items. So when you register your acceptance, you can now go away with those items.
From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Still at the National Assembly, the 10th House of Representatives says it has identified 13 major areas that require urgent legislative attention towards good governance. Speaker of the House, Tajuddin Abbas, stated this at an agenda-setting meeting with relevant stakeholders in Abuja. National Assembly correspondent Abdullahi Aminu reports.
It was a critical engagement to facilitate an empirical examination on the issues contained in the legislative agenda of the 10th Assembly. They include national security, women participation and inclusion in politics, as well as the constitutional and electoral reforms.
I think that when people get to a point where they become really frustrated and incapable of coping with the challenges of living, it is not quite clear what the consequences would be. The National Assembly does have a role of oversight, it does have a role of lawmaking, it does have a role of representation, and I'm sure that members of the National Assembly, in formulating this legislative agenda, will understand that citizens have a huge lot of expectations, that your role of oversight particularly will be able to bring about disciplined expenditure by all arms of government, would be able to bring about accountability, would be able to bring about responsiveness of government.
Our overall goals are job creation, higher foreign exchange earnings, new skills development, diversification of exports, and strengthening and deepening our technological foundations. Infrastructure development. A robust infrastructure network is the backbone of a thriving economy. We are committed to developing a comprehensive infrastructure framework that will position Nigeria as a regional and global player. Our agenda will focus on three critical areas: transportation, energy, and smart cities.
Speaker Tajuddin Abbas advised the members of the House of Representatives to have functional interactive offices in their constituencies.
Indeed, my speech was aptly titled, "In the People's House for the People's Mandate." I equally promise that while it is the duty of the House to develop a legislative agenda for which our constituents will hold us accountable, the House will not hesitate to consult with critical stakeholders in developing the agenda to elicit their own input and areas of expectations, which is the reason why we are gathered this morning. We can never overemphasize the fact that citizens' engagement is the fulcrum of a representative democracy. It is only through such engagements that legislators will become truly representatives of the people. And to do otherwise will amount to a democracy without the people. It is fitting, therefore, that the Committee on Legislative Agenda, in the course of this assignment, has convened this forum to get from citizens what they consider the most pressing legislative need of our nation. I urge the stakeholders gathered here to make the most use of this very important opportunity.
Other issues deliberated upon were advancement in innovation and technology, anti-corruption, and the need for an improved food security mechanism in the country. In Abuja, Abdullahi Aminu, NTA News.
Ekiti State House of Assembly is synergizing with that of Oyo and Osun states towards having a vibrant legislature in the southwestern parts of Nigeria. Speaker of the Assembly, Adeoye Aribashoye, said this while playing host to speakers from the two houses of Assembly in Ado-Ekiti. Ayodeji Ogunshaki reports.
Following the request of the State Governor Biodun Oyebanji for the screening and confirmation of the 21 commissioner nominees by the State House of Assembly, the lawmakers made the nominees one after the other to pass through a thorough screening exercise. Confirming the nominees who were drawn from the various local government areas in the 3 senatorial districts of the state, Speaker Adeoye Aribasoye explained that they were subjected to the necessary legislative processes to confirm their worthiness to be part of the state cabinet.
We confirm as a commissioner in the state, say aye. If you are against saying nay, the aye valid. Have all been confirmed, and now they are now commissioner designates. The executive can now go ahead for their swearing.
The commissioner designates include 17 males and 4 females, as those who served in the immediate past administration, as well as former lawmakers in the state. Also at the plenary, a motion to empower the governor to appoint 10 special advisors to facilitate the business of governance and efficient service delivery was moved by the majority leader Tolu Ige and seconded by Oluwayomi Ayorinde from Idosi Constituency 2, which was adopted by the House. From Ekiti State House of Assembly, Ayodeji Ogunshakin, NTA News.
In another development, the Ekiti State House of Assembly has confirmed all the 21 commissioner nominees sent by the state governor Biodun Oyebanji. The confirmation followed the successful completion of the screening exercise by the legislature. Again, Ayodeji Ogunshakin reports.
It was a working visit to the House of Assembly as part of what is tagged Whistle Stop Visit, a collaborative agenda of all the legislative houses in the Southwest. The 2 visiting speakers were allowed to address the plenary following a motion moved by the member representing Ekiti West Constituency 2, Johnson Bode Adeoye, which was seconded by member representing Oye Constituency 2, Idowu Odebunmi. The Speaker, Adeoye Aribasoye, stressed the need to ensure stronger legislature in the Southwest through sustainable, fruitful, and rewarding working relationship. Aribasoye, who noted that the legislature is faced with complex and demanding challenges, said the heads of the houses of assembly in the geopolitical zone must come out with measures to navigate to identify the challenges for parliaments to succeed.
We will be glad. What is important is for us to keep this relationship going and have our open communication, our line of communication to be open, and for us to foster this unity for the development, particularly of our dear region, for us to continue to progress. I believe that at the end of it all, our people will be happy for it. Proud of the achievements of
the Speaker, Oyo State House of Assembly, Adebo Ogundoyin, and his Osun State counterpart, Adewale Egbedun, described the visit as a means of strengthening the relationship among member states, share notes, and bring the Southwest states together for a purpose of accelerated development. They emphasized the need for the passage of quality bills into laws that will touch the lives of the constituents positively. From Ekiti State House of Assembly, Ayodeji Ogunshakin, NTA News.
Adherence to proper legislative practice in focus at both state and local government levels in Jigawa State. This and more news after this time. You're watching NTA Parliament News. The Abia State House of Assembly has debated on the bill for a law to convert the Abia State Polytechnic Aba to become a full-fledged university. The bill formed part of efforts towards strengthening the education sector through establishment of more credible institutions of learning. Assembly correspondent Chika Okori has details.
The sponsor of the bill for a law to convert Abia State Polytechnics Aba to University of Aba and Speaker of the House Emmanuel Emerowa noted that the two government-owned tertiary institutions, namely Michael Okpara Federal University of Agriculture Umotike and Abia State University Uturu, are no longer meeting the educational needs of the people. He also decried the turn of events at the polytechnics as each student strength dropped from 25,000 to less than 5,000.
The number of students in Abia Polytechnic is diminishing. The institution will attract more students, which will raise the school's IGR and will go a long way to offset the inherited debts as well as help to run the institution. Changing the status of that institution to a full-blown university, it will come back to life and be self-subsistent.
Deliberating on the bill, which was later committed to the Committee of the Whole, other lawmakers said the proposed interdisciplinary university will help to create more job opportunities and increase the internally generated revenue of the state.
Aba is peculiar, based on the principle of entrepreneurial ingenuity of the residents, and Aba as a city that has a renowned name not only in Africa but all over the world. Let this university be factored in such a way that it will also have required infrastructure.
With the government of Hotel Exoti, we know Aba University will flourish and make it a citadel of education. Thank you.
That the bill, if well passed, will offer desired courses, also offer job opportunities.
It's also critical to consider potential challenges that may arise from the conversion process. These include ensuring a smooth transition for existing students and staff of the Polytechnic.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. Ayes have it.
When this bill skies through third reading and subsequently receives executive assent, the number of government-owned universities in Abia State will rise to 3. From the Abia State House of Assembly, Chika Okori, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Gombe State House of Assembly has formed the leadership of the 24 standing committees for the effective discharge of its legislative responsibilities. Abbas Mekano reports that the House also deliberated on the alarming rate of cases of phone snatching and robbery in the state capital.
Towards enhancing smooth and effective legislative business, the Selection and Inter-Parliamentary Committee was constituted shortly after the inauguration of the 7th Assembly last month to set the ball rolling. After several meetings and consultations, the committee, which comprised of all the principal officers of the House, with Speaker Lugireo as chairman, decided on the leadership of all 24 standing committees of the House.
Has worked tirelessly to come up with this very important list that will enhance the effective and efficient legislative service delivery in this honorable House.
The committees are Rules and Business, Public Account, House Services, Budget and Appropriation, Judiciary and Justice, Land and Survey, Women Affairs, Social Welfare and Special Duties, Works and Housing, as well as Urban Development. Other committees include Information and Culture, Security, Energy and Mineral Resources, Ethics and Privileges, Agriculture and Animal Husbandry, as well as Rural Development, Commerce and Industry, Youth and Sport, Health and Human Services, Education, Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Finance and Economic Development Committees also inaugurated.
I am here to make little contributions on the matter raised by the honorable colleague, Honorable Mustafa, concerning the internal threat of security.
Also during the plenary, members deliberated on the alarming rate of theft, robbery and youth restiveness, especially within the state capital, following a motion to that effect presented by Mustapha Hassan, representing Gombe South in the State Assembly.
At Gabuka, concerning what? Of Gombe LG. A man was attacked by a gang of youth. They snatched his phone and in the process struck him with cutlass on his head. He later died in a hospital.
To address that, the lawmakers resolved to draw the attention of the Gombe state government to engage security stakeholders and mandated the House Committee on Security to liaise with the Ministry of Internal Security towards addressing the rampant cases of robbery and theft in the state capital and beyond. The House adjourned sitting to 25th of this month. In Gombe, Abbas Mekano, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Speaker of the Jigawa State House of Assembly, Haruna Aliu Dangyati, says the Assembly is set to ensure proper application of due legislative process at both state and local government levels. This was the Speaker's response on the recommendation by the ad hoc committee set up to investigate the alleged suspension of a councillor representing Bella's ward of Enkwashi local government area of the state. Ibrahim Sani has details.
The ad hoc committee was constituted by the Speaker of the Jigawa State Assembly, Haruna Aliu Dangyati, on 6 July 2023 to investigate the alleged suspension of a councillor in Enkwashi local government area of Jigawa State, Junaid S. Gabas, who was suspended by the 7th Assembly. Presenting its report before the House, Chairman of the ad hoc committee, Sani Salazabran, says to ensure justice and fair play, relevant parties in the matter were invited to testify before the committee on the circumstances surrounding the suspension of the councillor.
The committee, in its bid to ensure proper and timely execution of its assignment, had its first meeting on the same day. The committee studied the letter containing the allegation and decided to invite the relevant person and institution identified in the letter to which the suspended councillor.
To this end, based on its finding, the committee offered 2 recommendations to the Jigawa State Assembly, requesting the House to consider the suspension of the councillor Junaid S. Gabas by the 7th Assembly as null and void. The committee also recommended that the councillor be reinstated immediately and allowed to enjoy full benefits as provided by law.
The Honourable Councillor Enkwashi local government in person is now fully back to sit as a councillor of Enkwashi and you will enjoy all the necessary privileges and rights. Thank you.
In another development, an ad hoc committee has been constituted to review the House Standard Rule 2017 to meet the global legislative best practices. Member representing Krika Samma Aliu Ahmad Aliu is the chairman of the ad hoc committee. The committee has members representing Gumel, Roni, Taura, Miga, Berniwa, Gwiwa, Goram, and Megateri as members. Clerk of the Jigawa State Assembly is the secretary of the committee. In Dutse, Ibrahim Sani, NTA News.
And that's the much we can take at this time. Do remember to follow this news and other NTA Parliament programs on the social media platforms on your screen. On behalf of the production crew, I am Vivian Idekbefo. Many thanks for watching.